Um, okay, so can you tell me which lady circle you are, and tell us a little bit about how you got involved?
Okay, I'm with Ladies Circle 42, Bielefeld, which is in the northwestern part of Germany. Bielefeld has been very strong in the convoy thing for a long, long time. A lot of people participated over the years. The convoy is 20 years old in general, and we've got people in Bielefeld who've been participating for 15 out of 20 years, which is great. So
Amazing.
the first I got in touch with the convoy was 2015 for just packing. I was a lady since, or I started Ladies Circle, I think 2011. So that was 4 years still before I got in touch with the convoy. Because of another lady who has been in convoy lead 4 years ago, but she was with tangent now. But anyway, she just introduced me to it, and I started, organizing gifts first, and then, well, did the regional or the area, um, the place where we collect all the gifts. So that is, it's, I wonder what it's called in English. I'm searching for the words. It's just like a place where everything from this region of Germany is collected, and you
Okay.
need to organize that. So I started with that one, and then of course 2016 I went for my first convoy to Romania, and after that, well, it's once you get when you get there, you cannot
Yep.
really stop
Yep.
that.
You are now really deeply part of the team, which I experienced for the first time this year. I still haven't completely reflected on that time and that week in December. But I'm hoping by sharing a little bit about it and also in the future years, we can get more support and get more involved. I just wanted to ask about you. You talk about the collections from the different parts of
Mhm,
Germany and
mhm,
Europe. I think actually some of the guests from Netherlands, they had a contribution that I was chatting to on the bus.
mhm.
So all the gifts are bought by. Is it just members of Lady Circle and Roundtable, or do the public also contribute?
The public usually does. So the motto of the convoy is children helping children. So what we do as the association is Ladies Circle and Roundtable. The whole project has been founded out of a national service project. So that's when it all started, with like one truck and I think 2,000 gifts or so, or even a sprinter. It was really small. But that's how it started. And then Ladies Circle and Roundtable, Agora Tangent and Old Tables, they all start to use their networks to collect the gifts. So that would be children from friends. They contact companies or schools, kindergarten, their own kids, of course. So everyone um, within the association tries to get other people and children, especially, to pack their gifts, because we want to do service on both sides. So we want to make children realize from an early age that you can
Yeah,
give things away that you don't like anymore,
yeah.
but still someone else will have the greatest pleasure receiving it. So that's why we use, or we pack used things into the gifts, as long as they're as good as new, as long as people can play with it, or children can play with them.
Okay.
That's fine. So if you like little matchbox cars, or if it's a Barbie doll, anything that is still usable and looks great, you can pack it into that gift. Then the parents might buy the sweets and hygienic stuff, just the toothbrush and toothpaste and shower gel and things onto it with the gifts. Some might also add clothing like a hat, a scarf, something warm. Sweets, of course. Everything
Hmm.
that is packed can go into the box.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's a nice
that's
combination of useful things, but also things that are a treat and
yeah,
a real sort of luxury for a lot of the children that don't often get gifts. Our
absolutely.
our tour guide in Moldova, we were chatting to his wife, and I was asking about the tradition of gifts and if it's a very common thing. Obviously, the Christmas story is shared all around the world. And she was saying that they would gift in Moldova traditionally, but a lot of households, it would be a gift and it's a gesture of handing over a gift. So it might be a book or
Yeah.
a toy, and actually the older brother or sister has been using it, so it's not a surprise. It's a very familiar
It's
item
not
from
a
the house.
surprise. True.
But it's
True.
still the gesture of handing over. So yeah, that was really
Yeah.
interesting to hear, and nice to hear that there's some used items going from Germany across to other parts of the world. But also I did see some, like you say, some new items, useful items, warm clothing, which we can both confirm are definitely needed in the winter over there.
Definitely needed.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, involving the children, involving our network in, you know, getting other children to pack has an impact on our society as well, which I find very important, because we throw so many things away. And the easiest thing to explain is how I do it with my godchildren. They all get like a shoebox, and I ask them to go through their room and just sort out the things themselves that they like, and then I have a look at it with their mother, sort them things back, because they sometimes don't realize that things would need, like a game would need language, or something that is with batteries that wouldn't go into the box. But otherwise, like these little animals, you know, from a zoo or Lego or things, we can easily pack into the box, and then we add other things. And the thing what we do as an association is, like we do in Bielefeld, we have a very well-working structure, contacting every kindergarten and every school in this area. This is hundreds, but we contact them. We all email them. We collected email addresses and postal addresses sometimes. So we mail them or we email them, asking them if they want to participate in the project. If they do, we ask them, how many flyers do you need? And like a school would order like 200 flyers, a kindergarten would order 50. And then we send them out, or we give them out, depending on how close or far they are. Give them out until the end of September, and then call them by end of October, asking, do you receive any gifts? Because we would collect them until end of October or beginning of November. So we call them all again, and then we drive around, everyone with their cars. Like I collected, I think, around 700 this year with my car. Wow. And I think the most that fit in was like 100. So you drive around and collect them all, and then I bring it to our regional storage. I think storage is the word I've been looking for. It's just a huge place where we can load the lorries, where we can pack everything into boxes, sort them by age, and then get them in pallets.
So that's a really nice aspect, that the children are also involved in Germany and Europe in packing. And like we say, I mean, the trip has changed my thinking on so many things. Like you say, disposable items, food, especially using food. We had a meal that will always stay with me, a lunch with a very rural family in Moldova, and every time now I prepare a meal, I will think about, you know, using everything and being much more efficient. But that's really nice that the children are, you know, that in Germany, that on the contribution side, they're using, you know, items we've said. And the other thing I noticed is when we were delivering the gifts, they are all we have some labels, and they're making sure that the gifts are relevant to the children they were receiving. So we were delivering to I have to remember my German now. So kindergarten actually is a term we use in the UK. Is it Grundschule?
It's a primary
middle
school
group,
I think, with you.
So the middle group. Gosh, I have to remember this. And I promised as well, I promised Peter and the team I was with that my German will improve for next year, because everyone's English was amazing. And then what you guys call teenies, but teenagers. Actually, in the UK, we refer to teenies as like toddlers, so very young children before school age. So that was my first day. That was a lot of learning, that actually I was removing the wrong boxes. So when they say teenies, it's the teenagers. But it was really nice to see that the gifts, and actually some of my team, they, you know, it's become such a large scale, and we had so many deliveries to do. It was a very intense 48 hours traveling there. We were non-stop. I think, you know, some people when I returned said, how was your break? And I said it was an amazing trip, but it's not a break. It's not a holiday.
It's not a break.
It's very intense.
It's physically very intense.
And mentally too.
yeah, it's a lack
emotionally.
of sleep, and it's emotionally very intense,
Yeah.
and it's also it's physical work. Sometimes you need to be fit
Yep.
enough to move around a truck, and you need to be fit enough to
Yes.
carry boxes.
Yeah,
It
we were
sounds
glad to be
easy, but
moving.
doing that for 12 hours a day is
Yep.
is tough. And
Yeah.
also then these moments when you're with the kids, and sometimes you feel like tears are coming up because things are so beautiful, and you see the
Yep.
kids are being happy, and
Hmm.
you're just bringing them so much joy for this moment. But then sometimes also you see their way home and where they're going back to,
Yes.
the circumstances in which they live and grow up, and that's also then it's a different kind of tears that come up sometimes. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen to me every year, but it's my 6th year on the convoy now, and I do remember my first one because that was probably the most emotional I ever got on the convoy,
Yep.
because you feel the unfairness of where children are born.
Yes.
You cannot
Yeah.
decide where you are born, and there's,
Yep.
especially for the special needs kids, there is not much support, and
No, it's
they're
definitely made
forgotten.
us appreciate the support that we have for everyone in society here. It's very easy for us to complain, and that's because everyone wants to improve, their homeland. But it was definitely eye-opening for a lot of us. I think as well, not just people for the first year on the convoy, but people year after year. And like you
Yeah,
say, some of the touching moments for me were actually not the delivering and the handover at the schools, but was when we were leaving with the trucks. And we'd maybe done 1 or 2 deliveries after, and we were going past some homes, and we were seeing. Initially, I was watching the children with their wrapped parcels, and they were going through some, I guess, gates you would call, some
yeah,
entrances. And I'm thinking, oh, where are they going? Maybe they're going into the fields, maybe they have some animals. And then I was talking to our guide about the accommodation and some of that. I mean, I would love to share more of that, because I'd like to think in future years we can help beyond just the schools, and there's so much I think we can help with. But yeah, like
yeah,
you say, the difference in living and lifestyle to us was
yeah.
extraordinary.
And the opportunities they have. That is
Yes.
something that I really feel every time I'm there. That without public transport
Yeah.
will
I mean,
limit the
without motor
opportunities to
cars,
visit. Yeah,
we
without
had
cars, without
we
public transport,
yeah, I mean, I
people would.
come from a background with animals and horses, and
Mm,
initially I saw the horses, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. And then over the few days I realized that actually those are the method of transport.
yeah,
there are very small farms, and like you say, the opportunities. I did ask our guide about farming and why it's on such a small scale. And he explained that in Moldova, a lot of families are self-sufficient, or they are trading produce, eggs, maybe meat,
yeah,
a lot of homemade goat's cheese, and it's being traded within the villages. And that's because, and some of the villages we visited, they quite far outside the capital, they didn't
mm,
have a village shop.
no,
Everything, all the
no, it's
food that we
not.
were served was fresh. There was no
Yeah,
packaging. um,
no, no, no.
so there isn't
And
the
it's often there is no industrial scale farming
correct.
there, so
Yes.
it's always very small scale, always
Yep.
within the region, within the small villages,
Yep. That
and they
astounded
never
me.
got the opportunity to make a business out of it, because
Yes.
well, the opportunities are limited. Also with children in school, like if you don't have public transports, children won't go to another school, or
Hmm.
will not learn some work, some proficiency after school, because it will be so far away. So they stick to their village and do
Yep.
whatever is offered there.
Yes.
And especially for those special needs kids,
Hmm.
um, absolutely amazing kids. They are very well taken care of within their villages, but they don't have a possibility for physical care sometimes, or for school and education, because there's nothing there. They are not prepared for
Yep.
special needs kids. So that leaves them out of society,
Yes.
which is hurtful. So what we want to do, and that is why I'm always defending the Christmas gift convoy when people ask me, but you're not. It is nothing that looks into the future. It is nothing that you can really do humanitarian work with. And I say yes, we do, because what we do is we cannot save the world. We cannot change the world. But with giving a gift, what you're showing to kids, and I think that's the most important thing you can ever show kids, is that there's people who would give something to you if they can,
Yes.
without knowing you, without asking anything back. You would just get a gift because someone is thinking of you, someone is in solidarity with you, someone wants you to be happy within this world.
Yeah.
And when you look around, you will always find that someone somewhere in this world. You're not alone, or we live in a global place where you're not limited to where you live and where you're born, but someone else will always be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like something we can put up against all the hate that is in the world, against jealousy, because when you realize at a young age people who care about you, whether they know you or not, it will give you so much hope, it will give you so much joy. And at one point, some children might grow up to be able to help others again, and they might look back on that moment and go like, I can give something now.
Yeah, that was
and that is what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean,
that it will be kind of the glue that will hold society together, making people happy without asking anything back.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many stories still coming out of this year's convoy, and a couple, I'd love to kind of share and spread much further than just today. But we had a guy, we were at the distribution yard when we arrived in Moldova. We were loading the lorry of items that were going off to Ukraine. So we were doing a transfer to the Ukrainian truck. And there was a guy there, and I didn't chat to him on that day. I said hello, nice to meet you, but we were busy. We had a lot of lifting and unpacking to do. And I found out, I think 2 days later, that he was the hairdresser of a member of Roundtable.
Oh, yeah.
And he had, I think he'd asked at a hair appointment a couple of weeks before, any plans for Christmas. And our member of Roundtable had said, I'm involved with this big Christmas project. We deliver, gifts to children, orphanages, hospitals. And the hairdresser, he said, has it been going a long time? Could it have been going 10 years, when I was young? They said, yeah, it's been going a long time. And he said, they came to my orphanage, and he said immediately, he said, I want to help. And he came and volunteered with us for the week. And I mean, another one was checking back in the capital. Our receptionist, she said, you all have different groups. She could see the Ladies Circle and the Roundtable logo on our t-shirts. What are you all doing? And we said, we have this convoy. And she said, I had something like this when I was at school, just outside the capital. And I said, we've been going a long time. And she said, wow, that's amazing to see that I enjoyed it, and it's still happening, and enjoyed it. And there's so many stories that they'll keep coming as well.
And the young guy who's the hairdresser now, he actually joined Roundtable when it was founded a couple of years ago because of the Christmas gift convoy. And he said, because in his gift, he was a teenager by then, he's now in his mid-20s. So when he got his gift, there was this hair gel thing in it, and a brush and a shaving kit for a young boy around 15. That was good. And he just started playing around with that hair gel, and going to his father or to not his father, but the one who was taking care of him, to the males and also to the other boys, and they styled their hair. And that's when he decided he wanted to be a hairdresser. And it's so cute,
So that little gift has like paved his way in life and his work.
He just decided that he's passionate about this, and that he likes to do that. And then someone told him that could be your profession, and he said, well, I'm gonna follow it then. And
that's incredible. In fact, that
story,
really nice. And that actually, I guess, reminds me maybe something I hadn't realized. I had a camera when I was young. I was interested in photography, and I got a camera, and I was told, be very careful with it, it's valuable. And that now is what I'm doing. I'm working in film and photography, and it's amazing how little gifts actually sometimes plant a seed, and they have a way bigger impact than that day that you receive it. That's amazing to hear.
You never know how you put a spark in someone, or you spice up some passion that is already there, and you feel like, I could really do that. And this is where the convoy gives even gives opportunity to people, because they might find something that they're passionate about, or they might something they can do themselves, or they might be able to give this kind of joy later on in their life. And then the snowball starts running. And that's what I really love about it, that so many people got affected by this for so many years now. and it's still the same effect. I've been visiting a little boy who was in a special needs. It's not an orphanage; it's where they have daily care for their children.
Okay. Yeah.
But he couldn't be there because he had an operation on his leg. They're trying to lengthen the bone in his upper leg. It's a very painful procedure, but I don't know. He's at home, so I visited him at home with one of those guys I was traveling with. To give him his gifts, because the woman who was taking care of all these kids, she said, "Oh, he's so special. He's lovely. He's an absolutely lovely boy. Such a kind-hearted person. Go see him. It will mean the world to him, because his condition separates him from a lot of things he cannot do, because there's no pavement in the streets. So even going with a wheelchair doesn't work. And of course, he cannot run off with other children. But this will make him like, really proud, and telling the other children, like, oh, look, I got the visitor from so far away, and they brought me a gift." So we went there, and that was something that was really moving, because he lived behind a completely broken door and a very damp kind of basement, downstairs, but with windows. And he was sitting there at home on a couch with a blanket, and he moved the blanket because I said, "Hey, how are you doing? I heard you had an operation." And the woman was just translating for him, and he said, "Yes, yes." And he put his blanket aside, and there was these metal things, sticking out of his little legs. But he smiled at me, saw in this gift, saying, "Did you come especially for me?" And I said, "Since there's no one here, yes, of course. We just came to see you."
Yeah, there's
and
so much
appreciation all over his
appreciation.
face, and he said, "This is for me." And I said, "Yes." And he opened it, and there were Superman stickers inside. And I loved it, just because I thought that this is so fitting. And he was like, "Oh, wow, that's great. I love Superman." And it felt so right.
There's so many aspects to the trip. And of course, it benefits the children, in so many countries. But I think I certainly didn't know how much it would benefit me. And it's made me rethink so many things, day to day, but also long term. It definitely impacts volunteers, and anyone that gets the opportunity to help, that they will say the same. I'm not sure. I'm definitely not. I'm not sure we can fully explain the feeling until you've been. Obviously, I was talked about it and prepped. We had some briefings, and I really wish I was better at explaining the benefit from both sides for the convoy. There's so many volunteers. There's the planning teams, the logistics, helping us get across borders. It's all volunteers. That's the other astounding things, and not just members of Roundtable, Ladies Circle, 41 Club, Agora, Tangent. Some of the drivers I was with, they are just volunteering their time because they have the ability to donate and loan us a lorry for the week, or the buses. The bus drivers are volunteers. It was astounding how many, not just a financial contribution, but the hours, and that's something that we're really big on in the UK, is that charity for us it's not just monetary. It's the time that you can give. It's the education. It's the awareness. And I don't know how it works in Germany. Do you, on a local Lady Circle club level, do you combine your charity work with your friendship and your social events, or do you tend to have different events? How does that work outside of the convoy?
We basically do, like with my club, and I think it's the same with most Ladies Circle, and also Roundtable, we do have charity work that is for, that we are just doing to raise money for our projects, of course. But then we also have projects where it's just us spending our time on our projects. Like we have one where we collect food. So we don't buy the food, but we are waiting at a supermarket and ask everyone to buy one piece more and give it as charity to, it's the Tafel in Germany. It's a place where food is handed out to people who are very poor. And you can get a bag full of food every week.
We have
so
similar in the UK. We call it a food bank. That's, I guess, that's the translation.
I think that's the thing. So what we do is we spend a day I think it's every 8 to 10 weeks that we have a day that we stand in a supermarket with our flyers. We just explain who we are, what items we are after, so everything like noodles and convenience food and then we ask people to buy one piece more. The whole thing is called one piece more because it doesn't hurt you. It's only a euro or two.
It's nice,
but it's something that you feel you have given something to someone else without, you know, having to spend a lot of money. So that's what you do. Also, we do we spend time with two places that people are living in who are very old and very poor, and also people with special needs. Just spending time, meaning we sing with them, or we
just human company.
Just human company, or we read, or sometimes there will be a concert. So these things are purely spending your time and your energy into, and not
anyone can do. It's you know, it's time is our biggest strength. I think it's our unknown strength.
The very simple things, like we do bicycle cleaning every year in October, because then it's when people remove their bikes and, you know, go back into shelter because, well, it's winter almost. So we do bicycle cleaning, and we ask everyone to contribute as much as they want, and we will clean up their bikes. So all we do is our handiwork, and they will give us some money, whatever they feel is.
I haven't heard of that. I love I love when I visit other lady circles and round table, and we hear about the different projects we do. We sometimes do in the UK. Quite often at fire stations, we work with the fire services, and we will do car washes, so the public can come in with their car. They can have sometimes our members, sometimes the firemen, which again, a lot of volunteers, and they can come in and fundraise. But bikes is not one I'd thought of. Actually, that's a good one for some of our cities.
You don't need much, you know, you just need a
very
place
simple.
and some little tent and some cleaning materials, and that's all.
And
we usually make like because we don't ask a certain amount of money, so everyone can give whatever they feel like.
Choose. Nice.
And we always show what project the money is going to. And it's almost so much fun, and we do like more than 1,000 euros in one day. Wow. So that is really cool. It's cool. It's a cool thing, and it's so much fun. And it's also something where you can give your time and energy and see what happens. And people are very open. If they see you work for things, they really feel like, I want to honor that.
It's a great way as well to, from a membership and from the fellowship and the friendship side of our clubs. It's a really great way, because we have, potential members coming and chatting to us, and they say, "Oh, who are you? What do you do?" And we say, "Oh, we're a social club that does charity." And then they say, "Oh, I want to know more about the social side of what you do." So it's really nice to engage with communities. I'm actually going to suggest maybe we do something like this in the summer, because we have a lot of clubs. I was telling some of your team when I was traveling with you guys about our projects we do called Santa Sleigh, and it's something we do in December. We have some amazing designs and handcrafted Santa sleighs. We have reindeers, we have Santa Claus. It's something I think we're very proud of. The round tables and Ladies Circle, they're very proud of their Santa sleighs, and I think there's also a competitive aspect to whose looks the best.
I really want to see that.
I have to share it. I don't know why. I assumed it was something that was done internationally, but maybe it's just a British thing. But those teams, it sounds like there's a lot of aspects of teamwork. They like to have fun, they like to engage with community and fundraise. So that's something maybe I can get our teams that are very driven in December to also take on maybe the bike project. I love hearing about different projects from around the world. There was one I learned about in Zimbabwe, and that's a fundraiser, and again, that's charity and public engagement. There's always something new, a new event, a new idea that we can share. Do you have any other charity projects you're working on, perhaps locally, in 2024, or do you concentrate on the convoy?
No, we so with my club, we do that one piece more every 8 to 10 weeks. Then we have usually our bike cleaning. We have an Easter gift box that we send out where we get products as sponsoring from. So we have one that is all about food and one that is about beauty and things. So we got these 2 boxes, and we offer them for Easter as an Easter surprise for mothers or fathers or children or friends or whoever wants one. So we offer that out. Then we have usually we have a running or walking activity also that we follow sometime in spring. And then we have the Christmas Convoy, of course, in winter. Then we have our own liquor that we just brought out. I think you saw it on the convoy because it's fairly new.
Yes.
That was it's called the Bosom Friend. It's a liquor that we came up with the idea working with breast cancer initiative. She's amazing. She's been she had breast cancer herself, and she's been working ever since for women to help them in their life, not with this condition, but like I'm feeling sick because of chemo. Who is taking care of my children? Or the eyebrows are not coming back, or the hair's not coming back. I need a really good hair wig. It's a wig, really. That you need, or you need a tattoo. Like our first, the first money we gave to them was for a woman who had a breast reconstruction, but the breast couldn't be reconstructed, like all of it, and she got a breast a tattoo, a 3D tattoo. To even it out. So that was really cool. It's something about life. It's something about feeling well in your body, being happy again with how you look like and how you feel, and sorting the normal things out and giving you some time out. We also donated for just a time out for a single woman with her 2 kids who, after chemo and everything the family went through, she had to pay so many things by herself. She couldn't afford a holiday, and we thought she should have some time out with her kids to let things just come back to normal and slow down and have good family time. So that's why we got the idea from that liquor, because a bosom friend in Germany is, of course, it's about the breast, but it's also a very close friend. It's a German word. And we just got that, and from 1,000 liters we did already sell 500 since end of November. So we're very happy about
I did actually an evening when I wasn't driving, I must point out. I did sample some, and it was delicious. I had to dash back for a Ladies Circle meeting here. So sadly I couldn't actually, I did make sure it was well rehomed to other members, but there was some Moldovan wine, which was a lovely gift, some homemade honey from one of our I think it was the school teacher, or maybe the school caretaker, had very kind, as you said before, they're very generous people, had made us some honey. There was lots of delicious food and drink, which sadly with hand luggage restrictions I couldn't bring back, but some very generous families.
They are so generous about food, because they are not going hungry in this country, because they are very good at farming and taking care of themselves.
So resourceful.
So resourceful, but that is what they want to give you, so they feed you very well all the time. So you could have eaten 5 times a day, because that is what they want to give you as thanks. And I love it. It's always beautiful.